Hey everyone! Welcome back to the Daily English Studio. Today, we are talking about a very important topic: how to escape laziness and learn English consistently. In my experience teaching English online, I realized that one of the biggest problems students face is not a lack of intelligence or time, but simply laziness. It's easy to be lazy and put off learning something new, but life is all about balance and consistency. Let me ask you a question. Do you often feel lazy when it's time to study English? Do you often say, "Oh, I'll start tomorrow," but then you never start? Well, you're not alone. But today, I'm going to share some tips with you so that you can get rid of this problem once and for all. So let's get started. The first reason why you don't learn English consistently is that you rely on motivation. Many people believe they need to feel motivated to learn a new language. But let me tell you something. Motivation is temporary. You might feel like studying today, but tomorrow you might feel lazy again. However, the good news is that you can choose to be consistent even when you're not motivated, because true success is not about feeling motivated. Success is about doing what needs to be done. Imagine you wake up every morning and you brush your teeth. Do you always feel motivated to brush your teeth? No, probably not. But you still do it every day, right? Because it's a habit. You don't think about it. You just do it. This is exactly the same with learning English. If you want to be successful, you need to turn learning English into a habit that you don't even need to think about. In fact, the less you think about it, the better. When you become consistent, you reach a point where you don't even need motivation anymore, because you already know that no matter how you feel, you need to spend some time every day practicing English, because it's your habit. It's what you do. So what can you do to build this kind of motivationless habit? First of all, focus on small steps. Instead of saying, "I'm going to learn English every day," try to say, "I'm going to practice English for 5 minutes every day." Small goals are much easier to achieve, so you're more likely to stick with them. And once you've built this habit, you can gradually increase the amount of time you spend practicing. For example, maybe you can go from 5 minutes to 10 minutes to 15 minutes. Secondly, make English part of your daily routine. Try to find a time in your day when you can practice English without distractions. For example, maybe you can practice in the morning before you start working or in the evening before you go to bed. The key is to find a time that works for you and that you can stick to consistently. Reason: no. 2. You set unrealistic goals. Many people set unrealistic goals for themselves when it comes to learning a new language. For example, "I'm going to learn English in 3 months," or "I'm going to speak perfect English in 6 months." These goals sound great, but they're not realistic. And when they feel impossible, you give up, because no one can learn a language perfectly in just 3 months. So don't expect to make huge progress in a short period of time. Learning a language takes time and effort. There's no shortcut to success. If you want to learn English quickly, you need to be patient and consistent. In fact, sometimes we make the mistake of thinking that if we spend more time trying to learn English, we'll make more progress. But that's not always the case. Sometimes we just end up getting more and more If you want to learn English quickly, I recommend focusing on smaller, more achievable goals. For example, instead of saying, "I'm going to learn English in 3 months," try saying, "I'm going to learn 10 new words a day," or "I'm going to watch an English video every day." Smaller goals are much easier to achieve, so you're more likely to stick with them. And once you've achieved these smaller goals, you can move on to bigger ones. Okay, let's look at another reason why you might not be learning English consistently. Are you ready for reason? No. 3. Drumroll, please. It's time for a quiz. You don't have a fun learning method. Do you enjoy learning English? If the answer is no, it's time to change things up. Learning should be fun. If it's not, you're less likely to stick with it. Many people learn English by reading grammar books and memorizing long lists of vocabulary. But there are more fun ways to learn English. If you love watching videos, watch English videos. If you love listening to music, listen to English songs. If you love playing games, play word games. When you learn English in a way that's fun for you, you're more likely to stick with it. This is why I love using an app called Duolingo. With Duolingo, you can learn English through fun games and exercises. You can earn points and level up as you go. And there are different topics to choose from so you can learn about the things that interest you. Plus, it's free. To sum up, if you want to learn English consistently, you need to make sure that your learning method is fun. So what are you waiting for? Go to duolingo.com/studio and start learning today. All right, let's move on to the next reason. Reason no? 4? You don't have an accountability system? We are social creatures. We need other people to motivate us. But most of the time, we don't have anyone to hold us accountable. When no one is watching, it's easy to be lazy. For example, let's say you tell yourself, tomorrow I'm gonna study English for 3 hours. But you don't. Who will know? Your parents? Your friends? Your teacher? No one. This is why it's important to have an accountability system. For example, you can tell your friends about your goal and ask them to check on you. Or you can join an English study group. Or you can use a learning app that tracks your progress. For example, Anki or Duolingo. When someone is watching, you're less likely to skip practice. This brings us to our final tip, the 5-minute rule. Remember, if you take only one thing from this video, let it be this. The 5-minute rule. When you feel lazy, tell yourself, I will study English for just 5 minutes. That's it. Most of the time when you start, you'll end up continuing. Starting is the hardest part. Once you start, you'll be able to keep going. That's all I have for you today. Remember, if you want to be successful, you need to be consistent. Don't let laziness stop you from achieving your goals. Now, I have a challenge for you. Comment below and tell me, what's the number one thing that makes you feel lazy when learning English? And what will you do to fix it? I'll reply to as many comments as possible. And that's it for today's lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button below. And remember, if you're consistent, you'll be successful. See you next time. Bye.